Does the classified Dusty do justice to our O-ring Dusty? Well, let's watch the video and find out. Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe classified Dusty. I've been waiting for this figure. I see him online. I'm not sure how I feel about him. I get him in package. I quickly just looking at him here. I'm going to compare him to the O-ring. I look at that and I'm like, they look pretty close. So anyway, we're going to review this. We're going to compare it to this. But before we get started, you know the deal. Take a second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell notification so you are notified every time I drop a new video, especially classified, Valiverse, whatever it is. So anyway, let's get right into it. Here he is. Still haven't hit the complete plastic-free packaging yet. This is one of the last waves that we'll see it. See everything that he has. 2 different sets of goggles, his helmet, the figure, backpack, weapons, magazine, and knife. And then you have the artwork on the side. Now this artwork is kind of drab. I'm okay with it. It kind of reminds me of the Valiverse. Like if I was to put like that on with like the new Valiverse or all the Valiverse, but just in black and white, I think it would fit perfect. There is one problem here. So as I'm looking here, God, all you can do is see me. See that? But look here. You won't be able to unsee this, but he's actually holding the magazine, not the actual handle for the weapon. So I saw that bothered me right off the bat. Anyway, number 49 of the line. There's the file card. Again, I think this is absolutely useless. Give us an actual file card in one language. You make enough money. You can do different languages for each country. Anyway, and then here's the montage that we're going to be dropping, so we get what the figure looks like, his height, and everything like that. Anyway, that's it. No more looking at me. Open this figure, compare him, see if he actually does this Dusty justice just by looking at it on the outside. I have a feeling he just might. Okay, so Dusty is out of his plastic prison, and here we can see our O-ring Dusty. This is not my original O-ring, and the reason why I know that is his crotch isn't broken. I do believe I actually finally sold off my original that was, let's just say, he'd seen better days. So, all right. So he comes with his backpack. He comes with 2 sets of goggles. And they did talk about this when they showed him off, is that this one is meant to go around the helmet. So it looks like the original. This one is if you want to put them on his eyes because they knew that it wouldn't fit. You have his helmet. Unfortunately, they are not using actual cloth or felt or whatever. This is the thing that I've heard so many people already complaining about. He has his knife. Got a little bit of a paint app there. And then you have his gun. I'm not really sure if it's a submachine gun, what kind it is. The bipod is a different color. You hear that? That's my dog, because obviously he wants to go out or something like that. And here's the magazine. It's going to clip into the back. I always thought having the magazine behind it was actually kind of cool. But you always risk breaking the thumbs on your figures. And I also know it's still difficult to get these figures in the hands. All right, and here's our figure. Just a quick look at him. His arm is only out like that because I had to pull him out of the package. So let's talk about the his gun here, the bipod. We've already heard the complaints about it, and I understand it is in a very odd position. I don't have the bipod for his original gun. So let me take this out. Don't want to snap any thumbs. But if you do look here, you can see where the hole is, and it is actually up top there. So that's the reason why I believe they did that. Now, whether or not the bipod was supposed to be up there, It's supposed to be was up there because that's the only place you could put a hole. I guess you could have put it lower. All right, so let's just compare the two weapons. We'll pop in the magazine. It does look to be notched, so it's only going to go in one way. And I have to say that these ones tend to, at least Zarano's, I would assume his, if there's a specific way that it goes in. Let's have this little, this is fascinating video to watch, isn't it? This isn't fun. Well, not a fan of that. I don't see how that's supposed to go in. And I'm actually starting to bend the weapon. It is a little bent to begin with. Not bad, but it's hard enough that I guess you could heat it up. But I really wish... I like this durability, to be honest. It's not too hard, but right now I'm having a hard time getting it. So that's what she said. Okay, I stopped it so I could insert the magazine. My dumbass was trying to push it in on an angle because that's how it seemed like it would be. But had I just looked at the original gun, I would have seen it went straight down. So, again, I do not have the bipod on this, but we'll take a quick look here. Now, whether or not this is a real gun or not, I'm sure someone in the comments can tell me. But you can tell they did a really good job. They made the stock look very similar. You have where the magazine goes. The handle for it is on a slight angle. And then on the top, you do have your handle for it. On the original here, you can see you had little coil or whatever it is to pull it back. They did it here too. So they put a scope on it. I do like the scope. I like the way the gun looks. To a point, it seemed so much longer than what the original, well, it technically is longer than what the original one would be. But they did put a handle on it, so it's easier for them to carry. I guess looking at this, you would have enough room to put it on there. And then you have, obviously, a port for blast effects if you want. I don't understand the purpose of making this brown. Sometimes it might be hard to see, but it's a brown. And I'm not really sure if that's how you want the bipod, but I guess we can play around with it, see how it is, see how it fits. The helmet, people have already complained about this and that it doesn't stand properly. We're going to find out real shortly. Pop off the backpack and compare them. Obviously, they did not go with the exact same color. I'm fine with that because this fits his color better. Although this looked fine too. Don't really seem to be any paint apps on it. And this backpack looks like it's straight away from what the original looked like. There's well, you know, I guess into the back there are some. They put water on the side rather in the back. So there's 2 canisters of water, which you're gonna want in the desert. But the backpack does look completely different. I don't know if it looks more, more military. I don't mind them veering away. I just sometimes I don't understand why some things will veer away from and other things they try and do exactly the same. So there's no reason to really compare that. But looking at this, it does have a real nice detail. It seems like they go through their spurts of wanting to put nice paint apps on certain things, but then on other figures they just kind of ignore it completely. And it's hard to tell exactly what they're always thinking. Oh well. All right, so let's quickly take a look at the figure. Take a look at his articulation, and right out of the package, no heating up. T-pose, perfectly fine. Bicep swivel. He is pinless. I believe this is the Stalker body. Double elbows, no problem. A little soft, but not gummy. Wrist swivel. Trying to see which way if these go in or out. So this one here, just back and forth. can look down, can look up. The neck is on a little swivel peg here. Got his ab crunch. The Jean-Claude Van Damme, which causes the drop down hips to drop down. As I mentioned before, not a huge fan of drop down hips. I understand the purpose of them, just not a huge fan because they can definitely cause issues. Thigh swivel, no problem. Double knees, pinless, nice and smooth, no issues at all. Boot cut, and then you have your ankle rockers. So no heat is necessary at all for this figure. I don't feel anything loose on him, which I know we've had some figures that tend to be loose. This is the new body. For the most part, I do believe the Stalker body. I think the retro Snake Eyes is coming with this body. You can do a lot once you start painting it up. People don't really notice. There's other companies that do the exact same thing. Throw the small little knife in here. And now let's compare his look to the original. So here's our original. My O-ring. The thing that gave us joy for so many years in the 80s. Alright, so starting off looking at the face. They obviously put more paint on the original O-ring, but I think that's because they want to show you off the sculpt here. Looking at this face, it does look really nice. No issues with the paint. I think if you actually took the paint away, you'd see an extremely nice looking figure. The hair looks really good. The sculpt into it, really nice. No issues at all with that. All right. So we'll take a look at the bodies here. Well, what's a better way that I can do this? Let's move up. Here. I'm zoomed out as far as I can go. All right, so as we can see here, he has the United States flag right there. I do not remember if they had the names on here or not and they're worn off. I would have to say no because there's nothing worn here. Here he has his name. I don't know. I'm having a brain fart. And it says G.I. Joe. But what this is Rudat backwards, which Ron Rudat designed the figure, designed many, many of the G.I. Joes. Here you have the black shirt underneath the body. Here he has the collar, same as up here. Here's the collar that runs all the way over. He has the buttons, follows, pockets right there. Here he has the harness that goes over, but instead they had it cross the body, which probably makes more sense. This is supposed to be the backpack harness. I would assume this is also the backpack harness, but they're gonna have it go across the front, which I'm perfectly fine with. It has two little pouches right there. When you get to the belt, so they both have the belt. Has a little pouch on the side. They made the pouch a little bigger, but definitely makes sense. And also, they have it so his shirt is hanging out. Again, I never really noticed how the shirt is hanging out on the O-ring figure. Well, it hangs out on this one too. And on the back, you have his two pockets. You got the pocket pouch on the side. His boots go down. Now, they put the knife on this side, where on the original, it's on this side. But guess what? Heat it up a little, you can pop it off and put it right over where you want it to be. Looking at the boots here, these ones do not seem to lace up, where these ones lace up, but they look very similar. These are brown rather than black. So rather than the black accents what they did with the belt and the backpack pouch. They just went ahead and they did brown. So here what you have is a drinking pouch. So this is what they would use rather than always drinking out of the canteen. They just kind of suck on that. It's going to go right through the backpack, and it's going to store their water for them. So let's put the helmet on them. Again, people have already complained about this, and I can already see what the issue is that it doesn't seem to fit properly. I'll throw this on here. So put the goggles on, and then kind of compare the look with the O-ring. So I really wish they would have put a felt around it. It would have given it a more, I guess, authentic look to the original. Plus, you wouldn't have it where it just kind of hangs there. It just doesn't look right. Good idea, bad execution. Does have two straps to kind of hang down. You're going to have the goggles, so it looks the same as our original Dusty. And then on the back here, it does have some camouflage through here, and obviously it's supposed to be the same down there. So they made it soft. It's soft enough, so that's not an issue. The issue is this is just too big. Almost like it was fabricated too big at the factory and nobody noticed. So I'm saying this is an issue right here. You're able just to get it to sit in there, maybe some sticky tack, that's fine. But it just looks too big for the head. So my personal opinion, what happened was maybe they made this too big. No one noticed with Hasbro and their shoddy quality control. It wouldn't surprise me. But that's really the biggest complaint that I can have. On the, you can see his little wrist here. The camouflage looks really nice. I'm not a fan that the knees are a completely different brown than up here, but it does match the elbow pads too. So what you could say is that the elbow and the knee pads are just a different shade because they can't match the actual texture of the cloth that he's supposed to be wearing. I guess you could go with that, but to me it kind of stands out where originally he doesn't have knee pads, but the knee pads do a really nice job of hiding the knee. I guess that's the best way to put it. Anyway, that's how Dusty looks. Put the goggles on him. All right. So they do stretch out a little bit here. I don't know. I can't. To me, it seems like they're maybe too close together. I mean, it doesn't look bad. They throw his helmet on here. It just kind of looks like he doesn't know where he's going, like he's taking a nap. It's hard to say exactly. So let's load him up here. So his backpack on. That not the greatest fit, but it's going to stay on there. I would have liked it to be the color of him. I think it would have probably fit a little bit better. I have a feeling, this one might not be that bad because he's soft enough. We can pop his trigger finger in there. Bipod, again, maybe in the way, but you know what? The bipod really doesn't get in the way at all. Now, this ain't the greatest pose that you could have, but again, I'm just kind of throwing it on here. I think you guys want to sit here and wait for me to come up with poses. He stands fine. The fact that they got rid of the shin guards, which was really, really obstructing so much of using the ankles, that this is wonderful that they decided to change it because it's how it should be. So actually, I think they did a really good job. It looks better in person. I do like the gray more, or the brown of the O-ring dusty more than this, but I don't think it looks bad. In hand, it definitely does look better. It has more of a yellow tint, even when I'm looking through the camera here. It kind of has more of a yellow tint, but it's more of this really sandy type brown. So anyway, let's wrap this up. I think you've heard enough of me about Dusty. All right, so there you have it. That's the new Dusty. In hand, I think he actually looks better, especially when you compare him to, the O-ring version. Like I said, I like the duller, muter browns of this figure rather than this. So maybe we'll get a carded one that has more muted, and I hope they go back and they take care of the hat. I don't know what it's called. Someone can put it in the comments, can correct me, whatever they want. I don't care. But I think it looks good. I think the figure looks good. Better in hand. There is room for improvement, but it is a better figure than what I was thinking that I was going to like. And getting the pose, like getting these boots, the biggest issue, and again, here I can just kind of just put them right there. Doesn't fall over. Something fell over. Something fell over there. Who knows what it was? Again, I think it looks really good. I'm glad they didn't do some sort of like, you hear that? It's my dog just whining. Like he just can't survive a few minutes out there without me. I think they did a really good job. I'm glad they didn't make it a deluxe where they're gonna make us pay $33. We know that's BS. They give you some really good weapons that harken back to the original O-ring. The backpack, kind of. There's room for improvement. Although I don't want you to go and do another Dusty. I'm sure you probably do one on a card. That's my dog. Just trying to finish up this video here, and then I'll go open the door and let him in. So anyway, that's it. I don't know what else to say. You know me. I'm gonna ramble on if someone doesn't cut me off. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. You know the deal. The call to action is, what was it? Oh yeah, Punk with Toys on Twitter and Instagram. Punks with Toys on Facebook, the Facebook group. Because once you join, you're a punk with toys. Maybe you're a punk with a dog that won't stop just whimpering. And again, subscribe, like, hit the bell notification. Again, I'll mention again, always, always, always like any of the content creators that you are watching. If you like their content, you hit that like button. It tells YouTube, hey, this person actually likes it. Let's send it out to other people. It helps us all grow. So anyway, I'm out of here. You know the drill. Have a wonderful day, and well, watch this video.